Hello again, my friends, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to the new apartment. I tried spicing up the background here a little bit with this poster, but this poster is later on going up on my wall, so it's not a permanent solution, but for the time being, this will do. It's a little bit interesting than just the white closet doors there, so I hope you enjoy this poster. This time we are returning to my Golden Age DC comic reviews. Last time we looked at the Superman Golden Age Collection Volume 1, which covered Superman stories from his debut in 1938 to the end of 1939. This time we are looking at Batman, the Golden Age Collection Volume 1, which covers Batman's earliest adventures from his debut in 1939 to the end of 1940. I will also later on cover the non-Superman and non-Batman stories from 1939, which I've read, but that video is not quite ready yet, but it is coming, you know. I will be talking about those comics as well. But this time you want to hear about Batman, or I assume you want to. Why are you watching this otherwise? I went into this thinking I probably wasn't going to like it that much. Usually I prefer Superman over Batman as a character. I just find him more interesting. And I also did quite like the Superman collection, so I was sort of expecting to not quite like this quite as much, but it was surprisingly good, even though I would still pick Superman over Batman. There were some parts of this collection that I thought I was going to dislike, but ended up liking quite a lot actually. Mainly Robin, which I'm gonna go into more later on. I kind of dug him. So Batman's very first adventure is in Detective Comics number 27, and I think, as I've mentioned earlier in my videos, or vague memory that I've mentioned this. Detective Comics is not my favorite series. As the name suggests, it's mainly detective stories, and those are not really my kind of thing. And Batman's very first adventure is a murder mystery, and it's not an origin story. We actually get the origin story later on. But in the first adventure, Commissioner Gordon has Bruce Wayne tag along to a murder scene, as you do with non-policemen, you know, just, oh, you want to follow me to the murder scene? Like, what? That's weird. But anyway, later on in the story we see Bruce Wayne in his Batman suit investigating the murder himself, and actually ending up killing the bad guy, as is apparently something Batman does. Batman's origin story of how he actually came to be Batman, and the now famous story of how he sees his parents be killed, doesn't actually happen until the character has his own comic series, namely in Batman number 1. And it is also in Batman number 1 that we are introduced to the Joker and the Cat. The Cat is like the earliest version of Catwoman, and she and Batman flirts a little bit with each other, even though she's technically a criminal, technically a villain, honestly. Now, I must say the original Batman suit, the original Catwoman suit was a bit creepy, and I was not actually a fan of it, but I thought she as a character was pretty cool. Now, the Joker I really liked. The villains in Golden Age comics, I've come to learn, are mostly ridiculous rather than scary, and I think most of the other villains in both the Batman and the Superman collections I've read have been pretty silly, but the Joker is not. Well, I mean, he's the Joker, he's sort of supposed to be a little bit silly, but compared to the other villains, he also really feels like a threat, which they don't necessarily do. You know, he's evil, he's crazy, and he's smart, which makes him much more scary than most of the other things we have going on in here. So I dug him, and I also quite liked the Cat. I thought she was pretty kick-ass. And Batman Batman's famous sidekick Robin, the Boy Wonder, debuts in Detective Comics number 38, which is also included in here, and he was added to appeal more to young readers, the young readers they had at the time, you know, young boys they assumed needed someone to identify with, so they added Robin. I expected to hate him, to be honest. I went into this with the preconceived idea that Robin was going to be an annoying kid who was mostly just going to be in the way, getting into trouble, and not actually helping Batman that much. You know, that was my idea of him. But he was actually really competent, and he saves Batman on a number of occasions, so I was very impressed by him. Much more than I expected to be. The artwork for Batman in this collection starts out as not very well drawn, but I feel that the artist really evolves and improves throughout the few issues we have in here. And at the end of this collection, you know, I think he's starting to become quite proficient. But the earliest stories are a bit uneven in the quality of the artwork. There's also a few panels where the speech bubbles are confusingly placed and it's not quite obvious in which order you're supposed to read them in, and that disrupts your reading flow somewhat. So there's a few issues like that in here. Overall, I would say I still prefer Superman over Batman, but Batman has by far the most interesting side characters. You know, Robin, the Joker, the Cats. I liked all of those characters more than I liked Batman, possibly even more than I like Superman. So that's quite telling, I think. Yeah, so there you go. That is my thoughts on Batman, the Golden Age Collection, Volume 1. Do I recommend you read this? Well, as I think I've said for the other Golden Age comics reviews that I've done, these stories are quite different from the type of stories and the type of storytelling that we are used to today. And modern readers might find them a bit challenging. But if you are interested in Golden Age comics, definitely check them out. And I think this collection here is a pretty good place to start. It's not too expensive and it covers what you wanted to cover, which is Batman's earliest adventures. So that's good. And that is all for me this time. And also, I forgot to mention, I dressed accordingly. I don't have any t-shirt with Batman on it, sorry. But we have Supergirl, Wonder Woman, and Batwoman, so it was somewhat thematic, I thought. Just wanted to show that off. Anyway, have you read Batman? Have you read Golden Age Batman? Have you read Golden Age comics? Whatever. Have you read anything at all? Basically, comment down below, share your thoughts. And now I got a message on my phone, sorry about that. But yeah, comment down below what you thought of Batman and what you thought of this review and all that. And like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.